Hey Carolina Millers, Wargamers. So we're here today with a very special video. So today we're going to be going over the Ringo South 2. So we're going to be holding this event through the ASBGA. Basically, we're part of the ASBGA League, which is the American Strategy Battle Game Alliance. The Carolinas Miller League, which is our league, is a member of the ASBGA. So we're hosting this tournament. There's 4 ASBGA tournaments a year, and we're one of them. So go ahead, Dan, and go over the rules. You can show them the pack.
Okay, so here is the official rules pack of the Carolinas, the Ringo South, number 2. And what we tried to do with this is last year we held it very close to Nova. So we kind of were using a lot of Nova, I guess, rules and mechanics to kind of get prep for that. So what we try to do this year is to develop our own tournament, our own rules, and have something unique and fresh. So here is the rules pack. Okay, first page of the rules pack. It gives us the address,
Let's go and
the date.
Tell them the date real quick.
Yep, so the date is going to be May 19th, 2018. It will be held at the Mighty Meeple. And we'll give you the address of that. It's going to be close to Charlotte. So anyone who's we did have last year, we had the tournament in Raleigh. We wanted to move it to a little bit more, I guess,
bigger location.
Bigger location.
Charlotte's a little bit bigger town. And if you guys are interested in attending, go ahead and just send the channel a message. That'll be the best way to contact us. Send us a message and I'll reply.
We'll send you the rules. You can look over and see if it's something you want to commit to.
So basically what our emphasis on this tournament is we wanted it to be really thematic. We want players to bring...
We'll get to that. We'll get to that. So the entry fee is going to be $15. $15 entry fee. The list submissions, we are taking list submissions in advance. So if you need want to submit a list to bring, you need to email it to...
Just send us the messages, and then I'll give you guys.
And every list needs to be emailed by May 18th, so the day before the tournament. And we're going to be doing a 750-point army with a minimum of 5 models. We do have a few list restrictions, which is going to be your army can be comprised of any number of factions. So normally in a tournament, you can maybe ally in one war band or ally in
one ally,
certain points of allies. We're saying, hey, if you want to take 3, a dwarf war band, an elf war band, and a manish war band, do it. As long as it's thematic, and we have rules in here that will kind of hone that in, and we'll go over that in just a second. And we'll be using the Hobbit Unexpected rule set. So we're expecting the new rules any day, okay, any day. But because of the timing, we are going to be using the Unexpected Journey rules. And it's also going to be, because we're familiar with it, we might not have time. We don't know when the new rules are coming out. We might not have time to become acquainted with them and fully understand them by the time the tournament happens. Banned models will be Tom Bombadil. He's normally banned. Gollum in the Undying. And any model released or profile released after May 1st will not be allowed. Figures and proxies. And all this stuff is generally how it goes in any tournament.
The Undying is not normal, but since we're doing themed armies, the Undying is pretty hard to kill, so getting leader kills, that's basically why we banned him.
Yep. So all figures must be painted. This does not mean primed. Reasonable substitutions and conversions may be used for figures that are not commercially available on GW. So that's generally how that goes. Scoring. So let's go over the scoring, because this is going to be a little bit different than normal. So because of the I guess what we're trying to push is the theme of army, building a theme. Of course, we need to try and cater to that. Okay, so we're putting that as our focal point for the tournament. So we're going to be changing the way things are scored. So I'll go ahead and go to our past the scenarios, which is going to be where our secondary objectives are. And this is going to kind of help flush this out. So the Ringo South special rule, okay, is called Theme is Everything. Here at the Ringo South, we believe that having a themed army should count for something. If your list is approved as themed by the judges, you gain 1 additional TP. TP. The player must be able to cite either the scene from the movie or the passage from the book which inspired their army. This rule is completely optional. Yes. So if you want to bring your very competitive army, go for it.
If you wanted to bring a shade with 30 Corsairs, yes, but it's not themed.
It would not be ruled as themed because you won't be able to cite that from this movie or scene from movie, the book. Here's what that bonus gives you, though. If you are using the themed rule, you are able to use the Ringo South secondary objectives. Okay? And the secondary objectives reads like this. There are 3 secondary objectives that one can use, but you can only use, and there's going to be 3 of them, you can only use one of the objectives once in the tournament. And there's 3 rounds, so that pretty much equates to you can either not use them, or you can use 2 of them, or you can use 1 of them, but you can only use one of them once.
Per game.
Well,
in general, yeah.
In general. Yeah. So the first secondary objective, and these are bonus objectives you can try to complete in the game, you have my sword. When a player elects to use this secondary objective, they place an additional token in their deployment zone. If at the end of the game, there is a friendly model and no evil models within 3 inches of the token, the controlling player gets 1 TP. However, if the opposing player has a model within 3 inches of the token, the controlling player does not, then the opposing player gets 1 bonus TP. So it could turn on you, which is what we were trying to do with the secondary objectives. If you really need to, it adds another element of strategy to it, which is, you look at your, and this is all these secondary objectives, you can elect to use them before priorities rolled for. You just let your opponent know before you go over each other's list with one another. Okay, and I'm going to be using this secondary objective. And before priorities roll for. The next one is keep it safe. When a player elects to use the secondary objective, they may nominate a hero in their army to hold a token. They must let the opponent know which hero it is. We're going to change that. So what we're going to do is if you decide to elect this, and this is from one of our guys, Jason, he wanted to do this, and I think it's a good idea. You write it down on a piece of paper, who has the jewel, turn it upside down. You don't have to let your opponent know, you just write it down, turn it upside down, and say, I'm using keep it safe. So that lets your opponent know, hey, one of these heroes is going to be holding a token. So if, and it could be any hero, by the way. So we're going to discard that for letting your opponent know. You just have to write it down, flip it over. If the controlling player has the token at the end of the game, they get 1 TP. However, if the hero who is carrying the token is slain, the controlling player must place a token where he is slain. On a 4-up, the enemy controlling player, can pick up the token. Might cannot be used. If the enemy player holds the token at the end of the game, they get 1 TP instead. If an enemy is within 3 inches of the token, it cannot be picked up. So that means if you have an enemy within 3 inches of the token, then it cannot be picked up. So that kind of adds a little bit of mystery to it. If you drop the token, however, you have to let your opponent know, okay, they had the token, and then show them the paper. And if you doubt if it comes up, you always call a judge over and they can show them the paper. Last secondary objective is still only counts as one. If you choose to use the secondary objective, keep track of how many kills both you and your opponent's general gets. If the controlling player's general gets more kills than their opponent's general, the player who elects to use this secondary objective gains 1 TP. However, if the opposing player's general gets more kills, they instead receive the bonus TP. So those are the 3 secondary objectives. You can use to elect them during whichever scenario we play. But you cannot use this bonus objective if your army is not themed or ruled as themed by the judges, and that's just something when you turn in your list, we're going to check for, and you can write what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
But why we went over that is because we're going to be scoring the tournament a little bit differently than they do at like Nova Open. Nova Open scores it wins, VPs, TPs?
I think it's TPs and VPs.
Okay.
Wins.
What we're doing with this... Oh, and by the way, if you do have a themed army, you do get 1 bonus TP where I have the shoot. Okay? So, how we're going to be scoring is TPs, VPs, wins, losses is the tiebreaker. So if you take a themed army, you're going to get 1 TP. Everyone's going to get 1 TP taking the themed army. Using the bonus objectives, you can get up to 3 additional TPs, and if you're able to nullify your opponent's and still accomplish yours, you can get up to 6 TPs, so 7 TPs. And then also, if you get a major win, you get 3 TPs. You get a minor, it's 2 or 1.
I don't remember.
We have to look all that up, but
basically what you're saying is we're doing TPs as the main grading system.
Yeah.
So basically what we're trying to really promote is someone who wants to bring a themed army, even if they're, really ultimately what we were trying to do is newer players. But I mean, it kind of equates to everyone too, because most people play the game because they love.
They love Lord of the Rings, and I think it's cool to have a tournament focused mostly on theme and having a tournament kind of built structured around that. And that's why we decided to say, hey, instead of wins losses, because if you take the themed army and you go off wins losses, you might lose a lot.
If you lose all 5 games, you can still place.
Yeah. So if you lose all 5 games,
3 games.
Yeah. If you lose all 3 games, which we'll go over the series in just a second, you can still place fairly good. And that means that taking a themed army actually is going to help you in the scorecards, which it normally doesn't.
Yeah.
It's normally just for the passion of it. So let's go over the scenarios real quick. Anything else?
Yeah, I was going to say the reason why we did 750 points is we originally had it at 600, but we had a few test games, and if you're really trying to build like a thematic army, so let's say you want a Blackgate themed army, you have LSR, EMA or stuff like that. We start trying to take some of these bigger heroes that are in the thematic scope. It becomes a little bit harder at 600 points. That's why we agreed 750 is a good number. That way someone can field, still a really solid army. And themed army, I think it just helps out pretty much everyone. 750. It's not quite 800. I don't think we had enough, the timing and stuff. I think 750 is a good points value.
I agree. So our first scenario will be domination. And that's, a numbers-based scenario, so mostly focused on how many numbers you can get in your army and how many objectives you can take. It's common in most tournaments. I think a lot of people actually consider it, at least the Green Dragon podcast, consider it one of the most strategic scenarios in the game. Which I agree. I think it's a very strategic scenario. The second scenario will be anti-numbers, the famous Lords of Battle. Which, with this tournament, we're trying to say, hey, you can take numbers and win. You can take smaller numbers and win. And the third scenario is Fog of War, which all these have been played on our channel. So if you aren't sure how to play them or whatever, we have the rules pack we can send you. And we also have video references. We can go look it up and see how it's scored and whatnot. Fog of War. And which is kind of anyone can win. Numbers can win. and smaller numbers can win. It's hidden objectives.
It's just pretty balanced.
So we're trying to keep it balanced. All three scenarios balanced on anyone could win with the themed army or unthemed army, because you can still get TPs and actually deny your opponent getting his bonus TPs and actually stealing them. So tentative schedule. So May 19th at My Meatball in Concord. It's very close to Charlotte. Round 1 will begin, and this is a very tentative schedule, okay? But round 1 will begin at 12 o'clock to 2 o'clock. Then at 2 o'clock we will have a lunch break, a 45-minute lunch break. There are a lot of restaurants nearby. You can go, you can hang out at the store and eat or whatever. Then round 2 will begin at 3 and end at 5. And then we'll have a painting competition at 5 o'clock. And we'll also have a best themed army, which people can walk around and vote for their best painted and their best themed. And round number 3 will begin at 5:30 and end at 7:30, and the award ceremony will start at 7:45 and end at 8. So that's another thing we changed, is we had before, I think we had 4 rounds, and you know, and at 600 points, as like we were playing 1.5 hour rounds. These are gonna be 2-hour rounds. We didn't want anybody to feel rushed, and we didn't want to try to rush through the day and cram it all into a day. So I think one day is good for 3 rounds.
Yeah.
And so instead of saying, okay, because that's another reason we did 600, is we're going to try to do 4 rounds, so we need to try to cram it together. So now that we're doing 2-hour rounds, because we're only doing 3 scenarios, we're saying, okay, let's go ahead and up the point limit a little bit.
Yeah, well, I'm excited for this, guys. I think we've improved. We try to take all the elements from the Ringo South 1, which we have a journey vlog for, and I know a couple of our subscribers went to it. Just, you know, we pretty much upped the ante on everything. We have a 20-man cap. So right now I think we're at 6 or 7. So make sure you guys let me know if you want to attend, because we're going to keep it at 20 because of tables and space.
Yeah, tables and space, and the reason why we have the cap is so we have enough tables.
Yeah.
And we don't want to go above that because our resources are kind of small. So 20-man cap, 10 tables. It's gonna be fun. 750 themed army. If you guys have any questions, you can find us on Facebook on the ASBGA page, or you can shoot us a private message on YouTube.
Yep.
Anything else?
I think that's about it. We covered about everything. So.
All right, guys. Well, good luck, and we hope to see you at the Ringo South 2, May 18th, starting at 12 o'clock. And we'll shoot all the email you the address if you want to come, and we'll also email you the rules pack if you want to come. Happy wargaming, and good luck on the table.